So you must be Daddy. Let me get this straight. You walk in here and you bring me
Another Doom clone.
Woo! That's a brilliant plan, is it?
Brilliant. You got one part of that wrong. This is not.
Another Doom clone.
These remasters are killing it right now. We get to experience all these old and cool games. People can go on a nostalgic trip, and gamers who haven't played these games can finally enjoy them. It's wonderful. A couple of years ago we got a remastered version of the original Quake. Now there's a remaster of Quake 2, which makes me want to shed tears of joy, because Quake 2 was one of my favorite shooters for my childhood. And these remasters are really good. There's actually effort put into these, not like some other soulless games that I'm not going to mention right now, because today I want to talk about another remastered game that came out very recently. It's full of content and is, well, ludicrous. It's a remastered version of Tech Wars. Okay, it's Rise of the Triad. You read the title of this video, come on. I can't believe you fell for it. Hey, look! It's Apogee, that company that Civi is always bitching about. Rise of the Triad is a video game that does not have triads in it. It's a really cool game that I've honestly never really played before. I played an older version of it a couple of years ago, but then the remastered was announced, so I was like, okay, I'll wait for that. And now the wait is over, and the hunt can begin. Because I didn't really play this before, and I saw this at the top of the list, I thought, oh, so this must be the first episode. A rocket launcher? Already? This ain't right. You're supposed to wait a few levels before you give me a rocket launcher. Or at least hide it behind a secret wall or something. This seemed fishy, so I did a bit of research, which means I rewatched Civi's original video about it.
Look! Look! What the fuck is this? Fucking raw!
And I discovered that, oh, this is the Shareware version of the game. I did beat it though, it was cool. The Hunt Begins is just a prequel, just a glimpse of what's to come. It shows you some enemies, some tricks, some traps, and the super duper ultra mega secret ending. Just watch the credits, you'll get an achievement. But we want the full game. There are 5 playable characters. I don't think there was an FPS game at the time where you could actually pick different characters. I'm just going to pick this guy because he's the first one. And he's the leader of the Hunt, the High Risk United Nations Task Force. Nice name. You are sent to investigate some wacky shenanigans on an island. Some cult shenanigans. The enemy blows up your boat and now you're stranded here. Well, that's okay. You did come here to kick some ass. And then you start playing and whoa, what's this? Oh no, I don't like how the textures are stretched. It's like this because, you know, in the 90s you weren't supposed to look up and down. But now you can, and it looks like this. But it doesn't have to look like this. For example, in Blood Fresh Supply, the remastered version of Blood, it was also like this, but you had the option of making the texture smooth, and I prefer it like that. If there's an option like that here, then please let me know, because I couldn't find it. But it's okay, because even here, I got a rocket launcher in the beginning. Wait a second, let's see if this works. Damn, it actually worked. You can actually rocket jump in a game from 1995, before Quake came out. Damn, this game was somehow, by some black magic, was built on the Wolfenstein 3D engine, which is, it's Doom before Doom, it's the daddy of Doom, but you know, I don't think it's that good of a game. It's really tedious. It's a really important game where you kill Hitler, so you know, it's worth it just for that. Maybe I'll make a video about it one day. Fun fact, this game was actually supposed to be the sequel to Wolfenstein 3D, somehow. Maybe the cultists were supposed to be Nazis? I don't know. But my point is that none of this insanity was possible in that engine. I don't know what they did or how they did it, but somehow they gave you the ability to turn into a dog. Because why not? Yeah, there's power-ups here. Dog mode is basically God mode, but you turn into a dog. And you know, if you take the word God and turn it upside down, not like this, you get dog. So the developers thought that God and dog is the same thing, which is obviously true. So you turn into a dog, you can't die, and you kill everybody by biting or by doing this thing. You can use dog mode to crawl through unreachable places. There's also regular God mode, but not really regular. You shoot Hadoukens from your hand, which is not as cute as the dog mode, but it's more efficient. It one-shots everyone, and you can kill multiple enemies with just one blast, so you can kill like 10 enemies with one shot. And of course you're invincible. There's a flight power-up, which gives you the ability to go up and touch the invisible ceiling. There's also bulletproof armor and asbestos armor, which is really useful against fire. They both count as power-ups, but other than good power-ups, there are bad power-ups, which are more like power-downs. Like this thing, which turns you into a elastic ball. You're basically playing ping pong with yourself. And also this. Drugs! Don't do drugs, kids, unless it's in a video game. But also don't do it in a video game. Not because it's bad for your health.
This can't be good for me, but I feel great.
No, don't do it, because it does this to you. You get all dizzy and you will probably throw up in real life. Also, just like in classic 90s shooters, like Wolfenstein and Doom, the levels can become huge, and in order to finish the levels, you need to find keys, different types of keys. And well, I'll say this game is really fun, but mostly in the beginning. I don't want to shit on this game because it's a really cool and unique game, and the remastered version is wow. We're just getting so spoiled right now with all of these remasters, and this one is no different. One of the best remasters ever. Keeps the game as it is, makes it even better, and even adds new stuff to it, like a lot of options and settings. You can even change the HUD and make it so that you can see your face, just like in Wolfenstein and Doom. It's all very cool. It has every Rise of the Triad content, literally everything, including the infamous extreme Rise of the Triad, which I played a bit but I stopped because I don't really want to suffer. Existence is painful enough. Plus there's a whole new episode. It's the same with the remasters of Quake 1 and Quake 2. They also got new episodes. Damn, it's so awesome. But what I was trying to say like 30 seconds ago is that even though I don't want to shit on this game, I kinda need to shit on this game, at least for a little bit. After a few levels, you start to realize that, yeah, it's very cool and impressive and the levels are huge, but that's not necessarily a good thing. Eventually the game devolves into literal key hunting. It's not as bad as in Wolfenstein, probably, but it's bad. You get to the point where you killed every enemy, everyone is dead, and you're just running and running and running around this behemoth of a level, or at least that's how it feels like, and you're just searching for the damn key that you need in order to finish the level, but you can't find it. Thank God there's a map. It's still a pain in the ass, but it could have been a lot worse. And this map, wow, this map is probably the most detailed map I've seen in a video game. Really impressive.
White. Impressive. Very nice.
This game is so old school that it has an extra life system. Yeah, that's a thing in this game. You can get an extra life by finding one in the level or by grabbing enough of these things, but you can accidentally destroy them, so be careful. Okay, finish the first level. Oh my god, what? So many secrets! That was my reaction when I finished the first level for the first time. This game probably has the most secrets in any game ever. It's just ludicrous. Oh, and also, before I talk about the enemies and the traps, I have to mention something. This music fucks. The music is so good that I made 2 montages for it. Wow, this is amazing. No wonder CV is using it in all of his videos. Bobby Prince and Lee Jackson used some kind of magic here. Damn, it's so good. It's so awesome that there's literally a jukebox. You can change to any song that you like in any given time. The remaster even gives you the option to choose between the original music and the music that was in the remake of Rise of the Triad, performed by the legendary Andrew Holsholt. He is the Mick Gordon of indie boomer shooters, and then he literally replaced Mick Gordon in the DLC of Doom Eternal, but that's for another video. I knew the music was amazing before I even played this game, but I didn't truly appreciate it until I actually played this. The music genuinely makes me smile whenever I listen to it. I even have a smile right now. Okay, not really. The point is, this is one of the best video game soundtracks ever. And just one of the best soundtracks ever, in general. You know that meme about video games with good music? Oh man, this sick album comes with a free game. That's nice. Well, it applies to this game. It's Undertale levels of quality. I can praise the music all day, but I don't want the video to be 24 hours long. So let's talk about what you actually do in the game. There are 4 chapters in the base game, and this is what you'll be doing for most of it. Yeah, the game turns into a slug not only because of what I mentioned earlier, not only because of the key hunting in giant empty maps, but also when there are enemies, you'll be using the MP40 for 99% of the time, because, well, you have 3 main weapons, which is the pistol, which you will maybe use for like 2 seconds, because immediately you find another pistol, and you will only use those until you find the MP40, because it's basically the same but better, and they all have infinite ammo. So what do you do with a fast firing weapon that has infinite ammo? You press the left mouse button and you never let go until everyone is dead. The only problem is that it doesn't do that much damage. It's okay against the beginner enemies, but later on it takes a while to kill someone. But other than these weapons, you have 4 more unique weapons, and then 2 more weapons that are even more unique. First, you have 4 different types of rocket launchers. You have the regular bazooka, which is nice. It makes the regular enemies explode really good. Then you have the Heat Seeker, which is the same, but the rocket plays tag with the enemy. You have the Firebomb, which makes everyone explode really good, and even yourself if you're not careful. There's also the Split Launcher, which is okay. You shoot out a rocket and it splits into 2 rockets. It can be useful in some situations if you time it right, and if you hold down the fire button then the rocket doesn't split, then it's just a regular bazooka. Next we have the Drunk Missile. This weapon is basically a combination of a rocket launcher and a shotgun, which obviously makes it really powerful, which actually sounds cool as fuck, and the weapon itself is cool as fuck. And you have my absolute favorite. I love this weapon. Probably one of my favorite weapons in any game that I've played. The Flame Wall, which is exactly what it sounds like. You shoot a rocket, but then the rocket falls down and it creates a literal flame wall, which one-shots everyone except the bosses, but we'll talk about them later. Also robots. Robots don't die from these. It does this to them, which is my favorite thing to see in this game. Especially when I'm doing it to the Enforcer. Before I start talking about the enemies, there are two more weapons. The staff, which is basically like a bazooka, but better because it can hit multiple enemies at once. And the Excalibur. I really like the idea, but I don't like the execution. It's basically a melee weapon. You can hit the enemies a few times and they die. It does quite a lot of damage, but it tosses them around, which is not convenient. But you can hold down the fire button, then you shoot out like 20 baseballs. It's really not reliable, and you will most likely hit yourself more than you will hit the enemy. You can actually rocket jump with the Excalibur, which is more like a bat jump. It's really not practical, but it's very cool. Now, let's talk about the enemies. You have the regular soldiers, which all say something when they see you.
Over here! Shoot him!
And the women soldiers even point out your gender, kind of. They react differently if you're a man or a woman. But all they really do is just walk towards you and shoot. Some of them might try to beg and plead, but don't show them any mercy.
Please! No, don't shoot, please!
Some enemies will play dead, and they are the only source of jump scares in this game.
Drop it!
If you see a corpse that isn't bloodied yet, just shoot it and make it bloody. Some enemies will try to roll around to avoid your shots, but rather than actually dodging your bullets, they just look so stupid and funny. Look at this. There's also these officer enemies that throw nets at you. The only way to get out of the net is by using a knife that you pick up from a statue, and you can only use the knife on the net and not as a regular weapon, which is weird. But if you don't have a knife, you need to press left and right until you get out, which is like a QuickTime event? A QuickTime event from the mid-90s? What's going on here? What is this game? But all of these are just regular enemies. They are just fodder. They are nothing compared to the Enforcer.
Eat lead. Here, catch.
The Enforcers are like the chain gunners from Doom 2, but even worse, kind of.
Fuck yourself!
You can't really stun like them because they have armor, so they can still shoot at you even though you're shooting at them. They have a lot of health, they don't even die to 1 or even 2 rockets, and they throw grenades. You have no idea how many times I heard, "Here, catch! Here, catch! Here, catch!" But at least they can accidentally blow themselves up, so that's nice. And if you're lucky, the environment will blast them off. Also, we have robots, which don't take any damage from regular weapons. You have to use an explosive weapon. I don't know if the bat works on them, like the special attack probably, but the regular attack probably not. There's also these super robots, which can't be killed at all. And finally, we have the monks. There are two types of monks, the skinny ones and the less skinny ones. The skinny ones can shoot really damaging fireballs at you, and the other ones, I'm not even sure what they can do. I just always kill them before they did anything. It's not hard to deal with them, it's just a slug. And you will always get to situations where you want to get rid of them quickly because it's a slug to kill them with the MP40, and even more so with the pistols, so you want to blow them up. But if it's only like 1 or 2 monks, you feel bad wasting rockets on them, but it does feel good when you blow up a big group of them. You will be taking quite a lot of damage in this game, so you will need to heal yourself. How do you do that? You can pick up health items. This one only gives you 10 HP, and this one gives you 20 HP. Unless you light it on fire, and then it gives you 50 HP. This is probably the only game in existence where if you shoot the health pickup, it gives you more health. As you've probably seen throughout this video, the enemies aren't the only things that can kill you. There are many traps in this game because it hates you, like spikes that sometimes come from the roof, flames, firewalls, spinning blades, lots of spinning blades, giant boulders that disappear into the ground. Too bad Chris Redfield isn't here. And lots of fireballs that can sometimes kill the enemies for you. You can avoid these traps by using the jump pads or the GADs, Gravitational Anomaly Discs. I think that's what it's called. Okay, now it's finally time to talk about The bosses. When the game literally feeds you tons of health, you know it's time for a boss fight. The first one is General Darien. At first he hides like a little bitch and sends spikes through the ceiling, but then he comes out and you find out that he is actually a really tall bitch. He sends some enemies on you and he even tries to scare you.
They'll bury you in a lunchbox.
They will put me in a lunchbox? They will put me in a lunchbox, huh? So you're putting all of the responsibility of my death on your friends. You really are a bitch. He also likes to disappear into the ground because that's just something you do, I guess. Good thing there are lots of rocket launchers here.
You're toast.
The next one is Sebastian Christ. Oh look, he's on a wheelchair. What's he gonna do to me? At least he's not hiding like Darien. He's coming at you and he's not going to stop until you're full of explosions. But like with every enemy, you shoot him until he dies. And then there's the enemy. Here's my first encounter with the enemy. And here's my second encounter with the enemy. The game literally bugged out because of his bullshit. By the way, I'm not saying enemy, I'm saying NME, which is Nasty Metal Enforcer. And yay, he is nasty. Not only because he's a tough bastard, but also because he has the word Enforcer in his name. The enemy is basically a hacker with aimbot cheats. He will lock onto you and he will never stop firing. No matter how well you dodge, you will get hurt and you will die. A lot. He is the toughest enemy in the game and you have to pretend you're playing a cover shooter if you want to beat him. You have to pop out, shoot and immediately go back to hiding. You can grab the key he was guarding to unlock this door and get yourself some much needed health and rockets, which are the only thing that can damage him. And of course you're not safe here, because the indestructible robots are here, which are technically stronger than the enemy, because at least he can be killed, eventually. You might think that you're not doing damage to him, but first of all, he glows red when you hit him, and second, you'll know when he's at low health when he starts spazzing out and shooting a million fireballs. At least he can get you up here. Oh god, what I'm trying to say is, this boss is hard. After a battle more intense than my morning shit, I finally defeated this abomination. This is what will happen when AI takes over the world. And finally, we have the big bad of the game, Eloscuro. But unlike every other enemy, you don't shoot him until he dies. He deflects and reflects everything you throw at him. Try to shoot him with the pistols, he shoots small projectiles at you. You try to shoot him with the MP40, he shoots bigger projectiles at you. You try to flame wall him, he flame walls you, and so on and so on. What you actually need to do is...
Nothing! Absolutely nothing! Stupid! You're so stupid!
That's right, you don't need to attack him at all. You need to dodge his attacks, especially his creepy hugs. You need to wait until he gets bored, turns into a snake creature made out of heads, and runs away. Because... that's just something you do? I guess all of the serpents you see throughout the game were a hint to his true form. After he transforms, there's a whole level dedicated to a chase sequence. You can just run straight to the end, but I killed some monks and grabbed some stuff. And then you finally get to the last boss fight. When the game gives you so much health and ammo, and everything's on fire, you know it's time for the final boss. Now you can shoot him until he dies. He can be quite annoying, but not too hard. Just imagine you're playing Serious Sam. Walk back, shoot, and watch out for the lava pits. You probably all know about the secret good ending, where you need to destroy all of his eggs, because he can lay eggs somehow. Do they come out of his head? If you don't destroy all of them, everyone dies, and you get the bad ending. Well, too bad. I'm not doing that. I don't care that humanity is fucked. I just want to kill him. Look at that dying, goofy face.
Yes.
You actually get to fight against all of the bosses again in the new expansion, so that's nice. Darien was super easy. I don't know if he's supposed to come out of his starting place, but I just jumped here and massacred him. The fight against Sebastian Christ is basically the same, but the arena is smaller and tighter. The enemy is still a bastard, but now you don't really fight him. You need to make him chase you while avoiding his missiles and other missiles from the indestructible robots, because there's like a million of them here. You need to lure him to this place where you activate a switch and he finally gets a taste of his own medicine. A million fireballs come out and destroy him. Yes, but because he's so tanky, it takes a while. And finally, El Escuro. Again, you actually see him throughout this whole expansion. I think from the first level, he always runs away, because he's a bitch and he knows he doesn't stand a chance. On the way to him you get the most satisfying use of the flame wall, killing multiple enforcers and tons of monks. That's so beautiful. On the way to his boss fight, you see some of his eggs. You can destroy them, but of course that's not all of the eggs. They are hidden, again. And again, I'm not going to bother with it. Humanity is fucked again. The boss fight itself is basically the same. Run backwards and shoot him until he dies. And that's basically it. That's Rise of the Triad, Ludicrous edition. Sometimes tedious, sometimes boring, but overall an amazing experience. And the remaster is just perfect. All remasters should be like this. Truly an awesome game. So if you've ever wondered what it's like to be a dog and make people explode with your barks, well, this is the game for you. Okay, enough boomer shooters for now. I'm going to make some videos about some horror games. See ya!